Our favorite birds and monkeys based movie was in fact the 2017 film Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, aka our patron pick from our favorite patron, Mr. T. Thank you for the request. And if you also want to get your pick in the raffle and pick just like Mr. T's, go to guapish.com/Patreon or patreon.com/Guapish for $1 a month, and maybe you'll get your opportunity to let us watch some random ass movie. Tanner, please describe the plot of Jumanji.
Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle is a reimagining of the Jumanji franchise where the Jumanji board gets picked up by Jackson if he were cool, and it realizes that the youth hate board games, so it turns into a video game, and then Jumanji happens. A bunch of kids get sucked into the video game and they go on a little jungle adventure. The end. Fun fact. The scene where Kevin Hart gets drunk at that place was added because he was really sick while filming that helicopter scene. Like, it was to cover up for him being ill during that scene.
I'll say bad fun fact. I'll go with bad. I'll lock in bad here. Tanner, I'm very curious. What are you ranking this one?
This is a ranking coming from my heart and not my brain. I'm sitting at an A-.
Wow. All right, Dylan, where are you putting
Please come back to me. I haven't. I'll be with you in a moment.
Oh my God, Jackson, how about you?
Sorry.
I'm at a B-.
B-? Okay. I myself am at a B- as well. Dylan.
I think I'm gonna give Jumanji. Let's give it a flat A.
Whoa.
Need we even say it? Need we say it?
I mean,
Tanner said it best when he was picking this movie, or I don't even know if he said it last episode or not. There was some preamble about it when it got rolled, but I expected this movie to be pretty dog shit, as you'd expect a movie with this cast and this premise to be. And it wasn't complete dog shit. Frankly, I kind of had fun with it. I don't think it's a great movie or anything, but like it was more entertaining than I expected. And, I give it a lot of kudos for that. I think the idea is fun, to be honest. I think it's a clever use of it. I think they could have gone a bit further with it. I don't know if our actors did a great job portraying the personalities of the people they were previously. But, I think the idea was there. And I think it was a fun movie. It was an enjoyable time. I think it looked good. There was birds and monkeys in it. They were in a jungle, as you'd expect. I don't have a ton more to say about the movie. I just think it was like a cute little movie. It was inoffensive.
I thought the actors largely did a pretty good job portraying the original characters they were meant to be. I think The Rock was maybe the weakest one, but everyone else I felt like did a pretty good job there.
I said in that vein here, one of my biggest criticisms of Jack Black is that he always just plays Jack Black, and I still think he kind of does, but also it certainly tones that flavor of him down, which I appreciate this movie for a lot in a meta perspective.
For sure, yeah.
I suppose so.
I'd say I agree with you in terms of like how far they could have gone with sort of just like the premise of this, because I kind of feel like the fact that this is like Jumanji doesn't really come into play as much as it did with like the first one, where it's like, oh, it's all like these random events happening that are like meant to replicate a fucking board game, It like kind of tries to do that, but it's just kind of like these are video game levels now. But they don't largely feel like levels. It's just kind of they're walking through the jungle for the most part.
I get it. I don't find it as offensive as you, I suppose. I agree. I also think that the actors portrayed the people they used to be. The whole Rock not portraying his character super well, I think, is just supposed to be the intention of how different the dichotomous difference between who he is as like the Dr. Bravestone or whatever his name was, and like this skinny white kid who has no confidence. I think that's the point. I've already seen the second movie, so I know where this direction's going.
Is he white?
Who, the kid who gets turned into the Rock?
He looks vaguely Indian. Yeah.
I wouldn't.
He's definitely not white.
I don't know.
I feel like I'm gonna look him up, and his name will be like Sami Thanadar or some bullshit.
Yeah, let me know. But yeah, I like this game for the fact of how video gamey it is. It's so unrealistic, but I think it captures the essence of, maybe not perfectly, but being in a video game. I honestly never have a problem with Jack Black's performance. I don't know about Tanner. I'm not gonna speak for him here, I suppose, but I enjoy the Jack Black movies we have seen. And yeah, I think that this movie doesn't take itself super seriously, which kind of helps. And it's just a fun time to watch. It's not the best movie, but it certainly is a very entertaining thing to watch at the very least. So I always have a good time watching this movie. I think it's a very easy watch too. There's nothing like crazy. I also just like the concept of like the game is trying to get people, you know, it's trying to get people to participate in its game, and when it like realizes like video games aren't the thing anymore, it turns itself into like a fucking NES cartridge or something. I don't remember what kind of game cartridge that was, but very fun
One minor
concept.
thing. I was genuinely so shocked when that chick got immediately eaten by a fucking hippo. That was crazy. I wish there was more shit like that happened in the movie. They have like all sorts of like random deaths and shit, like the guy exploding because he ate a cake. Haha, funny. But like, that was a good moment, frankly. I think it like immediately put pressure on their situation. And I think they diffused it in a pretty decent way as well, following it up. But there really just wasn't anything that like reached that height. I never really felt like crazy amount of stress for them at any point, which didn't help at all. I wouldn't say. Like like they were acting like this was like a really disparate situation, but I never really felt that. They don't have the balls to kill off a motherfucker in a movie like this. No way.
No, definitely not. My thoughts, I guess on the video game point specifically that we've kind of been talking about, I guess kind of in between you guys. On one hand, I don't really expect this kind of movie to actually play with the medium of video games at all. So to the extent that they did do some stuff in it where I was like, oh, okay, that actually feels like something that someone who has played a video game would think to do in a movie, it kind of played well with me. Like when she sacrificed her life so she would fall out of the sky and, you know, be in the right position or whatever, I was like, okay, that's kind of like gamer logic sort of thing. And when Jack Black like gave up a life to the other guy, I'm like, okay, yeah, I've actually seen stuff like that happen in like a beat 'em up video game. Like, so it's for me, it plays well just because I had kind of low expectations for that stuff being present at all going into it. Overall, I think it's an all-around fun romp. I have a good time watching it. I think it's entertaining. And I think the big thing that probably hurts it for you guys is the humor is hit or miss. There's a lot of like, is he behind me? You know, kind of humor in here. And it never really gets to me that much. I think for the most part, we're at least staying on a good enough pace with delivering jokes that I'm able to move on from the really bad stuff. And I think the action scenes are actually pretty well done too, which I wouldn't necessarily expect for just like, you know, a fucking Jumanji remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. They, of course, have to force down the really awkward teenage romance subplot as well, which I just did not really attach to at all. I think it could have been completely avoided there. Like, the drama of, like, these characters, I think, like, the character building thing they were trying to do was fine enough. I didn't have any real problem with that necessarily, but, like, I just don't need the romance B-plot. It was just kind of annoying and predictable, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Except for Bethany falling in love with Nick Jonas. That part was funny.
And then he's like a fucking village man. She's like, shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I will say one minor detail I like, because in the first Jumanji with Robin Williams and all them, we got the perspective of Robin Williams, because, you know, we started the movie with them. This movie started the same way. However, at the ending of that one, we flashed back in time with Robin Williams and his friend. Instead of this time, we kind of stayed in place with our current characters we encountered second. And it was just kind of like an opposite perspective kind of ending, which I thought was kind of cool to, you know, oppose the first movie. Also, dude, actor fun fact, you guys probably already know this, but the Ruby Roundhouse girl, she's Nebula from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way!
Yeah.
Do you guys think that Nick Jonas's character, whenever, like, you know, in the fucking 30 years or whatever it's been since he, like, you know, was in the game,
As he had sex.
Yeah, well, no. Whenever he sees, like, a group of 4 people, he just walks up to them and he's like, I never thought I'd see you guys outside the game.
Oh, I see what you're saying. That'd be very funny.
Yeah.
They did specifically say 20 years, so maybe he waited a bit and then he started doing that, you know?
No, there you go, yeah.
Can you
Or
guys
maybe he thought he
imagine
dreamed it all.
having a weakness in a video game that is mosquitoes and just simply the act of... I'm assuming they have to bite him. But that's like probably one of the most bullshit things ever. Like, what?
I mean, yeah, I thought it was bullshit when they bit him.
True. Do you think that even though he was just like, trapped in a video game for those 20 years, that having lived 20 years gave him some kind of advantage once he went back to his 17-year-old self or whatever?
I always like to think
I don't even know
that.
if it did, because his time perception was really fucked. Like, he was in there for 20 years, but he thought it was like 6 months?
Oh, that's true.
That is fair. I mean, still, though, because, I don't know, it's time outside the pocket of reality, so I feel like it's still additive.
So there might be some time dilation bullshit or something going on, too.
Yeah. Fucking time dilation.
Yeah. Fucking time.
At the very end of the movie, I thought they were going to do something interesting. I thought this for a half second where I was like, oh, maybe, but there's no way it's going in that direction. But when he fucking gets up there, yells Jumanji, and everyone starts disappearing, I was like, oh, it would be very interesting if, there's zero chance you can actually ever escape. It's like either you die for real, or if you do make it to the end, it just, absorbs your fucking soul, and it's like it only wants to absorb, the people who are good enough to actually make it to the end. Some shit like that,
They'd
I
never
don't
have
think
the
I would have
balls.
liked that ending.
It'd be kind of a bummer, but...
It would be a bummer, but it would have some fucking balls at the very least. It'd be like,
Yeah,
damn,
it's an interesting
they went
concept,
that way.
but I feel like it'd go against the tradition of the first movie, especially since they were, obviously in the canon of that world anyway.
Yeah, and I guess that kind of begs the question. I take it you kind of perceive Jumanji as an explicitly malicious entity.
Yes, absolutely. Are you kidding me? You think it's pure heart in what's doing?
Let me say, I think that is the most reasonable way to interpret it, but I also feel like that is not the intended way people are supposed to perceive Jumanji from these movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the people making these movies are like, no, it's like a wacky mystical thing or whatever.
It's meant to be fun. It's meant to be fun that you're risking your life and almost dying.
I think that is what they are going for, even though, just objectively, in terms of what plays out, that seems kind of unreasonable to interpret it as.
Well, that kind of begs the whole, villain arc thing. It's if the game is just following a set of rules, it's not intentionally being evil, it's just doing the thing it says it's doing, and it gives you the chance to make it through. It's just turning up the survival of the fittest aspect up a dial. I don't view it as a malicious entity in that regard. I just see it as a construct doing what it was made to do. Inherently, that can still be evil, yes. But they have the option and the chance to get out alive. So I don't interpret it as evil.
That does make me realize that the Jumanji game, for something that has 3 movies about it, is probably still the most, unelaborated upon entity in any movie franchise.
And so why is it doing this?
Yeah,
What's its
how
purpose?
does it exist? Why does it exist? Who made it? Where did it come from? None of that. We're not told any of that, which I think is kind of funny. And assuming they keep making these, I hope they never answer any questions about this thing.
That'd be great. I think it's just a spin on, because since we brought it up earlier, it might just be a spin on what the Saw franchise is doing, where it's it's not inherently evil, but it's presenting people with dangerous scenarios and seeing if they have the know-how and the what-how to make it out of those scenarios. It's making you adhere to a set of rules by exposing you to danger. I did a bad job at explaining that.
Yeah, whatever you're talking about, it's insane. It doesn't make any sense. Ending. Do we have any ending thoughts on Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle?
No.
I don't think so. We talked about longer than expected.
I like how they were
true.
They remembered how the main character from the first movie was oh yeah, you got sucked into the game. Let's I think Robin Williams was dead by the time this movie came out, so it was a nice little obituary or whatever.
Yeah, I thought that was a cute little reference too. Hot take. I'm gonna stick at my A-. I really enjoy this film.
B-.
I'm also at B-. It sounds like we all liked it more than the original, though.
Very
crazy comment. I mean, I can't remember the original a ton, but I don't really remember
the
being that
original.
great.
We did not rate highly.
No, we were not big fans of it.
I remembered going into it thinking I'd like it, then I watched it, with perspective, and I was like, maybe not great.
Yeah, Dylan was actually the lowest on it.
Yeah. But not by much,
Overall,
though.
it lands at a B+.
Solid.
Wow.
Another one to the pile.
That is a That's a full letter upgrade over the first one for us.
That's crazy.
That's good. I'm the
I don't know
lowest
if
on
people
that.
will agree with us on that.
I don't think many people would agree with us, but I think that's a lot of nostalgia for old people
Exactly.
talking.
I think
Yeah.
I think I might have just been the harshest on it because I liked it the most. Oh my gosh, you're right. Holy shit.
I think the only good thing about the first Jumanji is that house was badass.